Do you have discoloration or dark patches on your face? Well, it could be melasma, and I have it too. And while it's an annoying condition, there are definitely a lot of treatment options, and we're going to discuss that today. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Swati Kannan, and I'm a board-certified dermatologist out here in San Diego, California. I had originally said that I would post every 1 to 2 weeks, and I really wanted to, but then I got married 8 weeks ago, and 6 days before my wedding, I had to take a medical board exam, so I underestimated how much time I actually had to be able to commit to a YouTube channel. But I'm back with a new hairdo, and I'm really excited to focus on this and to get you guys the best skincare education there is. So what is melasma? Melasma is characterized by these brown to gray-brown patches, usually lacy-like or reticulated on the areas of the face where the sun hits the most. So you'll find these patches on the forehead, like the upper lip, the cheekbones here, sometimes, very rarely, the nose or the chin. And sometimes if it's severe, it can be all over the face. And it's a result of sun exposure over time, as well as hormonal changes like getting pregnant, starting birth control or changing birth control, and things like that. So I got melasma one day after switching from one birth control brand to another. And it was all of a sudden. I had been using birth control for 10 years without any problems, and then just switching from one brand to another. Literally, one day I woke up with these brown patches on my face. And I exaggerate, it wasn't that bad, but as a dermatologist, I could definitely tell that melasma was starting to develop on my face, and I was a little pissed. But it also helped me to learn better how to control this particular skin condition that can be so emotionally devastating to people. And now I can share this wisdom with you and my patients. So what makes melasma worse? And these are things that people probably don't hear of. So obviously you're gonna say, oh, the sun makes melasma worse, and that's true. But other things also can trigger a flare of your melasma, not just sun exposure. So things like this indoor light, very bright lights, and the blue light from your computer screen, your TV screen, can worsen the melasma because it activates the melanocytes that produce melanin, so the skin cells that produce pigment. Any form of heat can also do the same. So heat includes saunas, hot tubs with the steam kind of coming up to your face, heat from lights, heat from sun exposure, obviously. So it's not just the UV rays from the sun, but also the heat that can make melasma worse. And like I mentioned before, hormones. So if, for example, you get pregnant, you might notice that your melasma is either starting or being triggered or worsening during your pregnancy. And there's a lot of things that you cannot use during your pregnancy, so it kind of sucks. But usually once you're no longer pregnant, the melasma gets better. It doesn't completely go away for most people, but that's when we start talking about the treatment options. For some people, stopping birth control can also be very useful, because especially if that triggered their melasma. For me, I tried stopping my birth control entirely, and then I realized, would I rather live with melasma or an unintended pregnancy? So I chose melasma. I did switch back to my older form of birth control though, and I think that did help because it kind of stabilized everything, and I stopped getting new lesions. But it's just kind of weird because the common teaching is that stop all your birth control pills. But I do think that in some patients, birth control can even help maintain melasma, meaning stopping from getting it worse. And then in other patients, there's just benefits from being on birth control, so you can't always stop birth control. So in my case, I learned to control my melasma through the birth control. And the last thing that you may not have thought of is just any sort of irritation can make your melasma worse. So for example, you start using this brand new cream or makeup, and all of a sudden you get redness and scaling. Well, that's a form of irritation. And that inflammation can again activate the pigment producing cells, worsening your melasma. So with melasma patients, you have to be incredibly careful. And it's a very slow process to improve the skin, to maintain the improved skin, and to decrease any risks of flares. Let's break down the treatment options between what you can do at home and what a dermatologist can do for you in his or her clinic. In this particular video, which is part 1, I'm going to talk about at-home regimens. And I will do another video where we discuss the possible options that you can find in a dermatologist's office. So stay tuned and hit the subscribe button because you don't want to miss part 2. So at home, what can you do? The absolutely most important thing you can do for your melasma is, ding, 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 sun protection. And I know we as dermatologists, that's all we talk about. sun protection SPF, sun protection SPF. I know. But for melasma, I tell all of my patients, you can literally wipe bleaching pads all over your skin, and I can wave a magic wand all over it, and none of that is going to make your melasma better if you don't protect yourself from sun and heat. So what kind of sunscreen should you be using? You want to use physical sunblocks with ingredients like titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, and sunblocks that are tinted. So I'll go through my recommendations for this. These physical blockers provide much better sun protection and heat protection than just plain old chemical sunscreens with ingredients like avobenzone or oxybenzone. If you're going to be out and about, don't just rely on your tinted sunscreen. You want to wear wide-brimmed hats, sunglasses that are big, that cover a big portion of your cheeks. So in my case, I even wear a really cool SPF sun shield where I know I look really hot. Before COVID, people would definitely look at me weird, but surprisingly, it's a lot more accepted since COVID. So let's break down the regimen into what you would do in the morning and what you would do at night. In the morning, after you clean your face properly, you can start with the vitamin C serum. Vitamin C serum is a very powerful antioxidant, but the formulation for vitamin C definitely matters. And I have a bunch of Instagram, reels and TikTok reels that talk about vitamin C, and I'll probably make a video about this soon. But my favorite vitamin C serum is actually the SkinCeuticals Vitamin C, E, and Ferulic Acid. This one is a whopping $166, and while I don't really like to spend a lot of money on skincare products, I do think that this one is worth it. This brand and this particular product has been backed up by research, and I know the formulation is stable, and so if I were to recommend a vitamin C, this is the first one that I recommend. But there are some cheaper brands that you can find on my social media platforms that go over similar products, but I just don't think that they're the same. After the vitamin C serum, you then use a tranexamic acid serum. Tranexamic acid is a newer ingredient for the last several years, and tranexamic acid actually, what it does is that it deactivates an enzyme that is used in melanin production. So melanin is the thing that's kind of pigments our skin, and so when you deactivate that enzyme, it decreases how much pigment you're producing. It doesn't mean that your whole skin is gonna lighten up, but it does overall help to refresh the skin, and it also helps with melasma and any kind of other skin discoloration like acne discoloration or hyperpigmentation from other causes. I use the brand by Naturium. It's very well priced. It's like approximately $20, and I think it has a really nice texture, and I've been using this for the last 2 years, and I have noticed that when my melasma is doing well, this regimen definitely helps to maintain it, and it has helped a lot with just some of the discoloration that I had around my mouth, kind of some sunspots on my cheeks, etc. And then finally, you use a moisturizer followed by sunblock. So I actually use 2 layers of sunscreen. The first one is this tinted sunscreen by Isden. It's one of my favorite tinted sunscreens. It's super lightweight, and it just kind of blends in and gives you that really dewy finish. After it's dry, I then use another slightly thicker sunscreen on top that's also tinted. So I used to use this Avane Compact SPF, which I thought was awesome. And then I just switched over to the Color Science Medium Flex Sun Shield, something like that. They both are a little bit thicker, and I use them kind of as my makeup or foundation. But I have found that really upping my sun protection game has decreased how many flares of melasma I get. Now you're probably thinking like, this is like a lot of stuff to do. But for me, this routine takes about 5 minutes in the morning, if that. And additionally, my biggest problem with melasma was like, oh my God, I can't go hiking. I can't go to the beach. I can't sit in the Maldives or in Cabo and just worship the sun. But you can still enjoy all of your favorite activities. You just are not gonna look super Instagram hot while you're doing it. But with proper sun protection, you can still enjoy your activities, and your melasma will be well controlled. And then at nighttime, after you double cleanse and make sure that all of the sunscreen is off your face so that you don't get other problems like acne or whatever else, you're then gonna use either the vitamin C and tranexamic acid serum again, or a hydroquinone product. Now, over-the-counter hydroquinone comes as, I think, around 2%. It's called Ambifade. And some of the Ambifade products have been discontinued, which kind of really sucks. But 2% hydroquinone is not that high. And this may help you a little bit with your discoloration, but it's not like the biggest, bang. So usually for hydroquinone, I recommend a more prescription strength that you can obtain from your dermatologist. And we'll talk about that more in the second video when I discuss the treatments that we do in office. After you apply any of your serums or hydroquinone, make sure you use a very nice moisturizer, because you want moist skin that isn't dry, that doesn't get irritated, so that you don't have any flares. And then, good night. As I'd mentioned, don't be afraid of still living your life and going on vacations or hiking or going to the beach. But if you are going to be doing any of those things, you can take a magic pill. No, it's not a red pill. It's not a blue pill. It's a beige pill. Whitish beige. Anyway, this is called HelioCare, and it's a very powerful antioxidant supplement that you can find on Amazon or over the counter. The advanced HelioCare contains 2 ingredients. One is called Polypodium leucotomus. Say that like 10 times. Which is a fern or a plant extract that helps to protect you kind of from sun exposure. This plant extract is a very powerful antioxidant that protects you from any radical damage that you get from UV exposure. Usually the UV rays from the sun cause DNA damage by producing what's called free radicals, and that's why these antioxidants like vitamin C serum or HelioCare, they basically are protecting you against that free radical damage. And in this case, it also increases the barrier that you have, so decreasing how many flares you get from melasma. So that's what I usually take if I'm going to be going out on a vacation or going hiking or whatever. And I take it an hour before if I'm just going on a hike. And then for any sunny vacations, I will start taking it like 2-3 weeks in advance and continue to take it throughout my vacation. And it's been around for over 40-50 years. And there's not really any side effects from this particular herb. It's been really well studied. I also recommend HelioCare supplement to anyone that has a lot of sun damage, predisposed to skin cancers, etc., because it provides a general protection for everybody. All right, so that's it for part 1 on melasma treatments that you can do from home. Stay tuned for part 2 and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it. In part 2, I'm going to talk about what I do in the office when somebody comes in for melasma. And if you have any comments or concerns, please reply below and I will respond. Have a good day.